All right. What's going on, party people? This your man Griff. Ooh-wee. Alrighty. On my way, 7:38. On my way to my 8 o'clock appointment. Should get there. Well, once I get past this light, I'll be able to get there on time. Tonight we're gonna have a good one, people. Oh man, we're gonna have a good one. So we got a couple of my channel members. They're gonna come up and talk to us about what it's really like for them being a full-time notary. This isn't a sales pitch. This is not a you can make $80,000 a month. This is not any of that. This is what they are actually dealing with on a day-to-day basis. The good, the bad, the ugly. From what their perspective of what they're dealing with in their area. So we got people from California, New York, Texas, and Virginia, sharing their experience, what it was like before they went full time and what it's been like since. And I just want y'all to get an idea of it, because you're going to hear how, depending on where you're at, the business runs differently. And the biggest problem we have in this right now in the business is so many of these TMCs, trainer mentor coaches, that are so amped up to get you to buy stuff from them that they really don't break it down. They really don't tell you the dark side of this notary business. They don't share that part with you. So people are thinking that everything is just great, and that every lender, every title company, every signing company has the same vision and mission, and they don't. They just don't. And that's where the problem comes in, is that you're thinking that the business is one particular way, when in all honesty, it is nowhere near the way that you want it to be. And see, and you get in, and then you get surprised by the level of effort that it takes to do the business, the attitudes that are in the business. Because if you think that this business doesn't have attitude from other notaries you're dealing with, from signing companies, from title companies, from lenders, you're sadly mistaken. All of them have attitudes, because each one of them have their own personal goals, their own personal business goals that they're trying to accomplish. They have requirements, they have contracts in place, they have expectations. And if you're doing something that's going to interfere with that coming to pass for them, they're going to have an attitude with you. And some people don't know how to deal with people. Okay, saying no left turn. Some people they don't know how to deal with you in a vacuum. They don't know how to deal with you just as the notary, outside of how other notaries have acted and cut the fool. And if you're not a person that knows how to handle those attitudes and those ups and downs and those little personalities, you're going to struggle in this business. I'm just going to tell you straight up. Because there's some signing companies out here that they think they're God's gift, or whoever they believe in gift, or whoever they don't believe in gift, to the whole notary world. And they're stuck up, and they think that their stuff don't stink, and they think everybody else is beneath them. And that really comes from the ownership. And then the individual employees got attitudes. And then you can have that with the title companies, escrow settlement companies. You can have that with the lenders. And you're thinking, as a person coming into this notary business, that, this is a prestigious position. This is very important. We're helping people buy homes and refinance homes and get money and stuff. And you will find out that people are like, some folk don't give a F about anybody except get the daggone deal done. And when you have a person who is free thinking, you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to do the best I can. I'm going to present that. And then you got everybody else is like, I ain't worried about all that. Just get the daggone deal done. And then they will try to force you into doing stuff and agreeing to stuff that is outside the scope of your notary laws. That's the struggle that I personally have. Because I'm trying to do things in accordance with my state law. And then you got people out here that they don't know me. And all they know is we need this done, and everybody else has done it the way we told them to do it, so why can't you? And if you're not a person who knows how to work within that environment, or a person who gets anxiety if you have to work in that kind of environment, you are going to struggle mightily in this business. You are going to second guess yourself. You're going to be like, you know what, forget this. I ain't got time for this. What the heck is wrong with these people? It is nothing like what the trainer, mentor, coach has been saying. They didn't tell me folk got these kind of attitudes. And I hear those complaints all the time. I hear them all the time from notaries. And I'm just trying to get y'all to understand that this is a great business, yes. But there's some tudes in this business. You know, that slang for attitude. There are some serious attitudes in this business from everybody who's not you. And you got to understand and learn how to deal with that. And be expecting of that from these individuals. Because if you can manage that, manage your emotions, then you can make it through. So, real quick before I end this, the way I manage it, the way I deal with it, is simply focus on what is the core thing that I'm supposed to do. I don't personally care about anything that all these other entities say they want me to do, unless what they say they want me to do aligns with what I'm supposed to do. You're hiring me to do something specific. What is that specific thing you're hiring me to do? Okay, now that I know that and we can agree upon that, let me do that first before you start asking me to do this other stuff. And that's how I end up focusing on getting the job done. As an example, when I first got out the military, I had a job and it was paying like $45 an hour, I think. Or was it? No, was it $45? No, it wasn't $45 an hour. It was $45,000 a year. It was equivalent to $48,000, something like that. Yeah, it was equivalent to $48,000 a year. And so I'm happy. I'm sitting there, and all I did was I got there. I'm the web developer, but because somebody else claimed that they wanted to be a web developer, which they wasn't, they told me I had to do graphics. And I'm not a graphic artist in any way, shape, or form. Wasn't back then, still not now. That's why my thumbnails be looking so plain, because I am not the graphical person. And I ain't got time to be paying somebody an arm and a leg to throw up a little graphic. And I've tried that Fiverr thing, and they take too daggone long. And 98% of the time, they get it wrong the first 3 times. So it's just not worth going back and forth with them. So they made me a graphic artist, and I'm sitting here struggling. Can't figure out nothing. And I was ready to quit, but I knew I couldn't quit because I had to take care of the family. And what I did was, whatever the dollar amount, whatever the hourly rate was for making $48,000 a year, that's all I kept quoting to myself. Every time I got depressed, every time I got frustrated, I just quoted that dollar amount. Whatever the hourly rate was back then, that's what I quoted it. That's what I kept saying. I just kept saying whatever per hour. Because I had to find something to motivate me to stick with it. And that was what I did. So when I got into this business and I saw the foolishness that's going on, the attitudes that goes on, I said, I got to find a way. Let me just turn my air on. A little stuffy in here. I had to find a way to stay focused on the big picture, the main thing. And eventually, they realized that person had no business being a web developer And they gave back to me all of the web development responsibilities, and I was able to move forward. But till then, I had to find a way to stay focused, to stay calm, and to deal with the situation at hand. It was wrong. I didn't like the way things was going, but I had to figure out how to be successful in this. And then that person was told, you no longer can do the web stuff. We need to get him to do it because that's what we hired him to do. And everything else was great from there. And from there, I moved on and just kept doing great things as a web developer. But I didn't quit. And when you find out what the truth is about the thing that you're supposed to be doing, you'll be able to stick in there. That's why people stay in marital relationships, even though the marital relationship has broken down. Not is breaking down, but has broken down. The dude don't like you, you don't like him, y'all don't like each other, but you stay there for the kids. You stay there for this reason or that reason or the other. We'll stay together until the kids get grown out of college, and then I'm leaving your hind parts. But you find your happy place. Or you figure out, we can get through this. We just got to get through this whole hump. He's going through something. She's going through something. And then you come out on the other side, beautiful. Everything is looking good. And you're better than what it was. Personally, I'm tired of folk getting into this business with the wrong expectation and then turning around and throwing shade at it and quitting. And know what I'm saying? They're coming in with the wrong expectation. Not that they're coming across, like dealing with, personal things in their life or what have you. It's the people who got the wrong expectation. And I don't know what everybody's expectation is, because most time people don't tell me. They just say, it ain't what I thought it would be. It's one thing if you got difficulties going on in your life and you got to let it go. And I know people who had some serious difficulties. I knew one lady, car just completely died. She had to let the business go. But she didn't want to. I knew a couple of guys who had some family issues come up. They had to let the business go. I get that. But it's when you're thinking that stuff you see on the internet is the business, and that's not the business. And it's sad that those folk are making you believe that, and y'all don't question them on that. And when you find out that what they told you isn't true, you don't even address them about it. You don't even hold them accountable for the misinformation that they share with you about this business. And then you tuck your tail between your legs and then let me just go find something else. But the problem is, I ain't even gonna get into it right now. Y'all know what the problem is. Y'all know what the problem is. Y'all gotta stop just believing everybody because they said you can make a bunch of money. That's really what the biggest problem is. You're so daggone greedy for money that you're willing to believe any and everything. And and it bothers me. It really does bother me because there's some great people and they're getting hurt. I mean, they're getting hurt. I'm just reflecting back on some of the conversations that I've had, especially with the young ladies, and how one lady down there in Georgia was afraid. She was scared. She didn't know what to do because she thought she was going to be making $10,000 a month because she listened to a particular person out there talking about that. And then she finds out down in Georgia, it's an attorney state, and you can't make money like that down in Georgia. You just can't run around, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You just can't walk into a title office. And then her boyfriend or husband, I can't remember whether it was boyfriend or husband, but the man in her life started questioning her like, okay, where's all this money? You said we was going to make this. And I can hear the fear in her heart. And I can hear it. She was scared. I don't know if she was scared that he was going to do something physical to her or that he was going to leave her, but she was scared. And I felt bad because there was nothing I could do to help her. I was like, all because some fool decided I know how I can get over on people. And that fool chose not to inform them properly that Georgia is an attorney state. And the way I say I do the notary business over here, you can't do it like that over there. That's why I'm doing this thing tonight, so you can understand the truth about this business. And it's not to scare you away from this business, but it's to help you to be mentally better prepared for when you execute the business, when you go in here and do the business. And when you get faced with things, you'll be better prepared. That's what this is about. None of these other people are really, really preparing you for dealing with stuff. They're not preparing you to deal with the racial stuff. They're not preparing you to deal with situations where people got attitudes about you because of choices that they've made. They've chosen, and I'll just be straight with you. You got situations, and I mentioned this briefly on one of the 55, but you got situations that I know I personally dealt with where I go to a closing and it's an interracial couple, a black person married to a white person. And the whole time I'm in there, the black person got some kind of little nasty attitude toward me because for whatever reason, they think that I got a problem with the fact that they're married to somebody who's not black. See, people don't prepare you for that. But that's what happens sometimes. You got people, you come in there, hey, how you doing, and then they just automatically think that because you are a part of the black community, or you're a black man, they're a black woman, and they're married to a white guy, or a Filipino guy, or a Chinese guy, that you're going to have an attitude, or that you have an attitude about who they chose to be married to, and you don't. You're just trying to get the job done, but they got an attitude with you. They won't speak to you. They act like they can't hand you the papers back. See, that kind of stuff is what we deal with. That kind of stuff. Same thing happens when you're dealing with somebody in a same-sex relationship. They come with an attitude sometimes, not all of them, but every now and then they come with an attitude. They think you're ... And you have no, and you ain't said nothing. You just showed up and they looking at you. They just look at you like, oh, okay. And they got an attitude. Dealing with people who don't like you because you're a particular race. All of this kind of stuff happens out here and nobody talks about it. All they talk about is money, and money doesn't fix the disrespect that a person gives to you because of who you are. They're hating you, they're disrespecting you because of who you are. Just because they're buying an $800,000 house don't mean that they're going to be nice to you. Don't mean that they're putting their racism and their prejudices aside because they're buying an $800,000 house. So if you think that, oh, because I'm a black person, because I'm a white person, hey, I'm a white person, and I'm going to walk into, this low-income neighborhood, and they're gonna still have disrespect for you just the same. I'm telling you. But nobody talks about that. You don't hear that at none of these conferences. All you hear is, buy this from me, and it'll make you a better notary. I'm just saying. And y'all know I'm not lying to you. You know I have no reason to lie to you. I have no reason to lie to you. Go to folks' houses and they don't even want you to look at their dog. And I'm like, okay, well, you got your dog trained to attack people like me or something, and you don't want your dog to be cool with me? They don't talk about the fact that you walk into somebody's house and they got guns all over the daggone place. Don't talk about that. There's more to this notary business than you think. There's some great aspects of it, but there are some parts that's like, didn't know that. Did not know that. Was not aware that okay, you know? And you're in it, and you got to get the deal done. Do you think I'm actually worried about trying to explain where somebody's interest rate is? If you don't know where your daggone interest rate is by the time I get to you, since you don't like who I am, that's on you. I'm going to do what I got to do and get the heck up out of here. Because I ain't got time. Because, look, I ain't got time for you to think something of me. Ain't got time for it. I'm just sharing my experience with y'all. I'm sharing y'all my experience, not because give everybody else the time to do their stuff tonight. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I've dealt with. I've dealt with racism. I've dealt with the H-ophobia, and I ain't even did nothing. I just go in there. But then I've been with some of the people, and you know, that the same sex folk, and we cool, we dapping it up. Yo, what's going on, man? No problem. Sit there. They be like, hey, you want something to eat? They finish food, and they like, well, yeah, you said this is your last one for the night. You want some? Yeah, go ahead. They have some pizza, they eat with them and chill. But then you got other folk, they got some serious mad attitude for no reason. For no reason. And it is very, very emotionally draining when you're sitting here and you can look in the eyes of a man. As a man, for me as a man, it's very emotionally draining when you sit and you look in the eyes of a guy that's supposed to understand your struggle as a black man, and he treating you like he hates your very existence. And you just there to help them get something done that they can't do for their daggone self. They can't notarize their own documents. Their loan officer can't notarize their stuff. Their mama, their daddy, they side chick, they side dude, they whoever can't do nothing. I'm the one that can do it, and you popping an attitude with me. That's what I deal with. Yeah. But I push through and I do what I got to do. Turn here. I push through and I do what I got to do. And I think, okay, have I been to these people's house before? I may have. All right, y'all. I'm here. Wasn't expecting to be on this long, but I'm here. Yeah, I think I've been to these people's house before. I really do. All right. Y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later. Peace.